What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Equip Live. My name is Will, and I'm joined today by Joe Mevo. What's up, man?
What is going on? I just realized at like 10 seconds, I was like, I don't have any water. I think I done messed up. But it's cool to be back, man. Like, we got to hang out. We hung out for like the last hour, testing,
Right?
testing. It's we don't have to do as much testing these days with Melon.
It's nice.
It is very nice. A
Yeah.
lot less
Uh,
stressful.
I mean, I think in earlier shows we probably did at least 2 hours of testing
Oh
before
yeah.
the show, plus like a whole week of testing,
Yeah.
just like making sure we get all the tech right.
And I think we're probably down to like maybe we need 20 to 30 minutes. Like, and that's
Yeah,
pretty generous. Um, but it gives us
pretty
time to catch
nice.
up with each other, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because like at I think it was like 45 seconds, I was like, oh man, I need a USB-C to USB-C cable. I had to like go sprint off and grab it.
Yeah, dude, I'm like looking at my cup and I'm like, oh no.
Damn.
But hey, at least I like just went and like so like I shared on Facebook, I shared it to the groups and all of that. So
Yeah,
like I guess it's not the worst thing. I prioritize my things well. I got to share to all the Facebook groups.
there you
Oh,
go.
I think I just realized, am I not a host? Can you change that in mid show?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Rip.
Are you not host? Do you not have? You should be signed in. Looks like you are co-host. Can you try pulling up chat?
Yeah, I'm in chat, but I don't see
It's not giving you
well,
it.
I don't see anybody in chat, so feels bad.
I know, right? Slowly coming. Just stream elements. Thanks.
Yeah, basically.
Um, cool. While people hopefully roll in, let's go over some of our regular stuff. Let's see. So, oh man, I still need to change this graphic. We have our user testing program, which you can find at the link right there. You can also find this, I think, still in our Willow link down at the bottom. But if not, you can also just take a picture of this QR code, and that'll take you right there, as well as going to any of our YouTube videos and just clicking the link in the description. So what the user testing program is that we get to send you guys new products. Sometimes it's hardware, sometimes it's software, sometimes we're testing different firmwares. Sometimes it's about design and packaging. So basically, you get this sneak peek at all the stuff that we're working on, and you get to give your feedback, which helps shape the product as we move forward in development. And then once it's finally released, you can be very, very proud that your feedback helped make that product great. And then we also have our host react shows that we got to do another one really soon because it's been a while. And this lets us review your content and your setups live on the show. This is great because it teaches people the best kind of gear to get and everything like that. And we can also give feedback on just your general content creation habits. And so we might have some nice tips for you. And we can also promote your content and hopefully get you some more viewers and subscribers and followers and all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, go to your email and send us an email at equiplive@logitech.com with subject host react. All right. And of course, we're live now once a week on Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time.
It's funny. I'm getting better at the whole Pacific time thing because JP is always like, "Hey, do you mind if we change this like meeting to this time Pacific?" Well, no, he
Right.
doesn't even say Pacific. He just says because like I don't know. Say for example, I have like a meeting at 2:30 or something. He's like, "Do you mind if we change that to like 10?" And I'm like, "I don't understand 10. It's like
Right.
1 o'clock here right now." It's funny. I just
Yeah,
like
I mean, I had that problem when I was on the East Coast because, yeah, it's tough working with people on the West Coast.
yeah.
Got to do that math all the time.
Yeah, I'm just like, do you mind if we like I would rather they just be like, do you mind if we push that 30 minutes or like,
Right.
move it forward 30 minutes? Like, let's not use time, actual time. But what can you do? What can you
Do you
do?
run into a lot of meetings that are like outside your normal hours because like they're
No,
okay for
not
West Coast time?
luckily, no.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, outside of like our weekly reviews on Thursdays, like it'll be like 8 o'clock tonight. That's the only
Hmm.
one, but I'm not expected to be there. It's just out of habit that I will be because I have to know everything.
Yeah,
I refuse to be outside of the loop. I want to make sure that I know the status of everything that's going on. So outside of that meeting, no, I don't really get hit very often with something that's outside my time, which is good.
that is nice.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so today's show, we're gonna hopefully have some more people rolling. It's very odd that we're at where we're at, and it makes me question to see if that viewer is right, that viewer count. But we recently put a poll, and this is a great reason, by the way, to follow our Logitech C account, both Twitter, Instagram. You'll find our content there, but you'll also see us, obviously, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook on the Mevo Camera group, and we're also on TikTok, although you won't find show content there. So we did a poll on Twitter and Instagram, and we asked, what products do you already own from the Logitech for Creators group? And unsurprisingly, Blue Microphones and StreamCam just crushed Glow and Mevo Camera. But I will say that both are kind of new to the Logitech for Creators ecosystem, and Blue Microphones and StreamCam have been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. Plus, I know just Blue mics in general. First off, that covers a wide range, right? We've got like from the Snowball all the way to what is that? Like $5,000 one? What is it? It's
Oh, you're talking about the blue mic?
yeah, the
I don't
XLR.
know, but Greg said that we had some inventory that we were
Yeah.
like, hey, so what happened to that? Now he's on PTO. We're not gonna hear about it, but I'm gonna have to put it on my reminders because yeah, he was talking about because all the movements with the different warehouses and stuff, and
Right.
he's like, yeah, we've got some
Oh,
pro
it's
units. I'm like,
the bottle. So you can get a bottle for $3,999.99.
yeah, and there's like the Kiwi too, right? How did they
Yeah.
come up with these names?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Yeah,
You
and the
you start to see a trend, and then it just takes a complete right turn.
yeah, like baby bottle, um, Yeti,
Bluebird, Spark,
Bluebird,
Kiwi,
Spark.
Blueberry, Mouse, Dragonfly, Ember. We're just all over the place.
Have you seen? I can't remember there's a movie where they just have like a dartboard about. I don't think it was Spider-Man, but I think there was like a movie out there, and they're like, we need to create a news article, and there's just like a bunch of different topics, and you throw it at 3 different dartboards, and it's like, all right,
Nice.
the mouse escaped the prison and took a spatula, and it was like, what? He's like, write an article, headline. That's what it feels like. How the naming convention was done. Like they just had a
Yeah.
bunch of random terms, and they're like, and it's done. Beautiful. What do you think of
What
these?
is up, Daryl? How you doing? What's going on? Thanks for joining us, Daryl. So yeah, I wanted to bring these up because we were talking about these the other day. The UE drops that just came out, and this is not LFC, but it is something that we do really like. These are cool. Obviously, we use them in our own setups right now. Not these specific brands, or not these model, but we do use the UE headset. And yeah, so basically these are supposed to be like the ones we have, or that I have in my ears right now, but these are Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's like
It's pretty
hybrid.
wild.
It's like a hybrid between. So like if you so the UE fits are like it's a proprietary like concept where you just put it in your ear and you press some buttons or the
It
app. I don't
molds
have
to your
any,
ear.
and it molds to your ear. Whereas the earbuds you have and I have, we had to do a similar concept, but then we sent it back to UE, and then they developed the actual earpiece specific to our ear. So it's a little bit more custom.
Right.
Now these ones are like a hybrid where they're like the UE fits, except now I'm assuming you send it back, right? And they
Yeah.
design it
Yeah.
the same
It's
way.
just like the ones that we have. It's that whole process, which is interesting because it seems like you would want to go typically like the other direction, like an easier production method,
Yeah.
like the fits. But I think these are pretty. It's pretty wild. I definitely love the paint job.
Yeah, those are sick.
Nice like candy paint,
Yeah,
good
I like that.
red.
I like that first one a lot.
Yeah,
Huh. Yeah, no, I'd be interested to see. We can probably pull some strings and try to get our hands on a pair or
we
two.
should. I mean, we rave about the ones that we use in our
Yeah.
ears like all the time.
Yeah, I also want the
Um,
UE fits.
yeah, I
I like.
almost ordered those the other
So
day
did I.
actually.
I got my mom a pair. She loves them.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Oh, geez. It's funny. I'm glad Daryl said in the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia area because I'm like, you're in the Department of Motor Vehicles, so he's coming for us. It's like I'm here to call, or I'm calling about your vehicle's expired warranty.
That'd be a good way to get that done. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, saw you live streaming. Just want to say,
I'm trying to reach out. A bunch of cars. Yeah.
yeah.
We
What's
got
up,
Rick
Rick?
here.
Hello, fellows. What's going on? I use the Multicam app via wireless webcam connection with Zoom and broadcast live onto Facebook. Wow, you got quite the chain going on. In the setting, it says use Zoom with extra low latency. What if I'm not sure if my upload speed can handle it? Would I then use high latency with Zoom and broadcasting on Facebook? Last night, I had it on high latency and 720, and the app was advising me the internet was slow. So, to unpack this, first, the latency setting in the Multicam app is talking about internal network latency and not upload speed. So if you have it extra low latency, it's still going to require the same upload speed as if you had it on extra high latency or whatever. Same effect. So it sounds like, and if you get that warning where its internet is slow, that is talking about internal network bandwidth as well.
Well,
So if
actually,
you're,
that's
is
kind
it?
of we were kind of having the conversation because like I'm putting that poll together to send out to Mevo users,
Yeah.
and this is kind of the perfect example of something I think needs addressed. Is that there's two specific errors. One for multicam, it says your Wi-Fi is too slow, which
Oh,
is
okay.
internal,
Right.
and it doesn't need to be Wi-Fi. It could also be Ethernet. It's very generic, or I guess specific, which it needs to be more generic. So the Wi-Fi error, if it says you have you're experiencing slow Wi-Fi, that actually means you're experiencing the slow network. And then if it says you're experiencing slow internet, then you're experiencing a slow upload speed. Why they're
I
so
got you.
specific slash not generic enough, I don't know. But that's
That's
just a perfect
interesting.
example of something that needs to be addressed.
I don't even think I've seen the slow internet. I thought it was the same thing because I only get the slow Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so we had to do
If
or
you're
Randall.
remote,
Randall just had to build a help article for this. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, because that's a common misconception that I had to get clarification from Nate. Yeah, so there's a slow Wi-Fi and then there's slow internet. The slow Wi-Fi detected, tap here to lower input quality or and increase latency. That's obviously going to affect your local internet or your local speeds. Whereas it says slow internet, that means your upload speed's going to be the problem.
got it.
It's
So he
wild.
says he's clarifying, saying that it's slow Wi-Fi. Okay, so it's good to know. And yeah, if it is slow Wi-Fi, then that's talking about internal network latency. Um, so yeah, the reason that you want it to be on extra low latency when you're doing Zoom is because typically when you're doing Zoom, you're talking back and forth with somebody. So if your latency is set to high, then somebody's going to say something like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then you're going to respond, and by the time that it hits them, it's going to be like halfway through their follow-up sentence. That's why latency is important when you're doing Zoom calls. But if you're not talking back and forth with somebody, if you're just Zoom, like doing a Zoom presentation, then you can set it to high latency and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's only if you're going back and forth with somebody. So yeah, so I think it sounds like what you're dealing with is slower network bandwidth and not internet bandwidth. So you don't need to worry about your upload speed. Does that cover it?
Yeah.
Hopefully. Hopefully that covers it. If it doesn't, ask any sort of like follow-up question, and hopefully we can answer it in a more simpler way. What's up, Jeff? No worries about being late. We're just kind of slowly getting started anyway. Um, Darren in the house, what's going on, man? CBus Radio, doing good. We were just talking about how both of us are extremely hot, and he's in New York
So
and I'm
bad.
in California, so it's just unescapable.
I always have to
Um,
do when I see C-Bus Radio, I always have to open up. I always and I've been on this webpage, I don't know how many times, because C-Bus to me is Columbus, and that's exactly what it is,
is
Columbus,
that what it
Ohio.
is? Yeah.
Yeah. So every time I see C-Bus Radio, I'm like, is that Columbus? And I don't know why I can't remember that it's Columbus. Um, Considering I'm from Ohio, but this is pretty
Looks
cool.
like sports.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's nice, good stuff. I'm excited for fall, man. I'm ready for some fall sports, and I really want to get some Mevos out there, man. I'm right next to this high school now, and I would love to reach out to them and see if I can like set up get a
Yeah.
configuration set up because I we just don't see it enough, football or ever. I don't think I've seen any football. Um,
Yeah, I might
y-
have seen like a plus doing football or something like that,
yeah.
but not
So I
done
would love
well.
to do a multicam setup and just kind of get some use case video of some football.
Yeah.
Um, But so hopefully I'm gonna have to reach out to them sooner than later because time's flying.
DJ Jerry is saying Florida is always hot. Yeah, that's rough. Can I use 4 cams yet? You can. You can use as many cameras, as many Mevos as you want in the Multicam app now. So go crazy. Use we've used 10 on the show before, and we're waiting for somebody to come back
Beat
with
us.
a challenge and beat us. Yeah. So let us know how the 4 cameras goes for you. Um,
And if you
what are your
purchase one, let us know
yeah, for
because
sure.
we like to see when people make purchases based off of our data because it's like it justifies the show.
Right.
So if you guys make a purchase based off of something you heard off the show, uh, I mean whether it was a month ago or whatever, just let us know because it's not it's interesting to hear what people do based off of our recommendations or what they see being demonstrated on the show.
Yeah. Here's a good question for you. What are some suggestions for improving network bandwidth? Different router?
Yeah, I mean, it just really depends. I would do a newer router. Um, Make sure nothing like dedicated would be preferred.
Mhm.
Also, make sure you're not using extremely outdated cabling because, like, if you are using Ethernet, that could be ugly.
Right.
Make sure if you've got any like if you're using Wi-Fi, make sure that the channels and frequencies you're using aren't like overly used in the area. That could cause interference. There's a lot of things you can do, but the biggest one is going to be like just see how old your router is. Um,
Yeah.
because I think what technology beyond I don't know 2010, I feel like has just sprinted and
Yeah.
it's not slowing down, and people are still holding on to route. I mean, heck, I'm one of them. You can go up in my attic right now and see like every router and modem I've ever owned is just sitting in a box.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I
What are
would
you running
definitely
right now?
Actually, I'm just using the Verizon modem. Actually,
Oh,
that's
and it
all I'm
has like
using.
built-in Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
it's the Verizon FiOS modem, and then I mean I've got a switch. My PoE switch is back there by that blue light. So
Mhm.
that's running to like that Mevo over there, and
Right.
then the Mevo right here. And I've got Mevos all around. So yeah, I mean yeah. So right now I usually I had the Eero, which was always nice. I love the app for
Right.
that thing. The thing was sick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
Um,
I've got. I've got 2 Eero Pro 6. So that's a mesh network, and I do really recommend mesh networks. I like
oh
them a
yeah,
lot, especially if you're going for like a further range. But yeah, it totally depends if your network is like a home network, if it's office, like whatever. It really depends. It also depends on budget. But yeah, Joe's right. Doing an update to your router and Wi-Fi setup is always good.
yeah.
Um,
You know, yeah, so once we actually got those Eros, I actually hooked my sister has, like, a garage that has, like, an upstairs bar,
right,
um, and
which is sick.
I ran a mesh network for her so she didn't have to run cabling all through her like, all the different things, so and what's really cool about mesh is, like, you can have these different, mesh access points, and you can run if you can run Ethernet to them, you can still do that, like, So like she's
Hmm.
got 2 points inside the house that both have Ethernet chained to them, and then the
Yeah.
one outside doesn't have it, and it's like 50 feet away, and it's doing pretty solid.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, and that brings up a good point about Ethernet is that if you really want, you could hardwire everything, right? Like you could put Ethernet into your phone or tablet and have that connected to your network that way. You could also have the Mevos connected via Ethernet. So if you have trouble getting a Wi-Fi network that is really good, or maybe it's just too expensive, then Ethernet adapters are a good way to go.
yeah, yep. And he said he was using an Ethernet cable, which is good. Now, one thing to remember is the most important part of a multicam setup is going to be your mobile device. So if you're running Ethernet to all your Mevo, make sure you're running it to your mobile device. That should be your priority over your Mevo.
Yeah.
And your Mevo is going to majority of the time have a stronger Wi-Fi connection than your mobile device. So it's just completely recommended. I couldn't help but laugh. You see Sam's question. Like, we're, we're,
Uh,
we're just
will the Mevo ever be able to live stream in 12K resolution?
we're just
It's a
gonna
great
skip.
question.
We're just gonna skip 4K, 8K, 6K. We're going straight to 12. Uh,
Maybe you could put like a
a,
ton of Mevos
a
side by
mesh Mevo.
side and just stack them and then bring it all together. I mean, you technically could do that.
Yeah. So my answer for that, Sam, is going to be one of it's a pretty common one, but it's usually for 4K versus 12K. But the answer is still the same. Who's going
Yeah,
to watch it? Like, who's going to watch it at 12K?
it's a
I don't even.
great point.
There's very little devices out there that play 4K, let alone 12.
Right.
Um, it's just unnecessary.
Yeah, and there's also no destination that would accept
No,
that.
no. Yeah, I mean, I streamed 4K to Twitch the other day
Yeah,
using because I play 4K games. So
right.
yeah, so I was streaming 4K and yeah, I was trying to do the same to Facebook and YouTube to try to really see how much I could stress my computer and they're like, "Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that here."
What's the bandwidth required for 4K?
I did 36,000 or 36 megabytes per second. It's 36,000 kilobytes per second. Yeah.
That's beast.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for gaming, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
Because like the refresh rate matters the most.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by the how well it held up. Of
Hmm.
course, though, as soon as I start the stream, my fans on my graphics card are just like, "And we're going." Like,
Yeah,
it didn't even try to heat up. It was just like, based on what we see here, there's red flags everywhere.
that's what happens every time I boot up something in VR. It just gets so loud. The
Yeah,
fans are just going crazy.
it's funny.
Um,
My buddy asked me the other day, they're like, "You should buy one of these so we can play games." I was like, "I have one. You don't play?" I'm like, "I haven't in a long time, but I could do that."
yeah, there needs to be more content for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, where do I find a battery to replace my Mevo Start? Unfortunately, you don't. So the batteries in the Mevo Start are not replaceable, and if you try to do it, it will void the warranty, and it is dangerous. So we don't recommend it.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
I have some crazy stories with batteries. I don't recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
We won't
took
go
me a
into that,
second, but
but
then yeah.
no, not doing that. Um,
um, but you know, if your Mevo Start is within its warranty, like we should be able to help out.
yep, yep.
Um, cool. Let's see. Rick following up with his network troubles. What's the best way to help with that? I had it on 720p with high latency, and it kept giving me the alert. So what do I need to do on my end to fix that? So yeah, you know, obviously hardware changes. Like the routers that we were talking about before, doing Ethernet adapters is really good. And then, you know, if it's giving you warnings at high latency 720, first off, like they might not be a problem. If you're getting the warnings, it's certainly possible that your stream is fine. So if you are seeing like stream issues, then I would say continue to lower that resolution. But you might get the warning and not have an actual issue. So I would confirm that, you know, it's a problem.
So I see Darren's comment here about a pamphlet inside the box describing how to replace the battery. So that is not to replace the battery, that is to recycle your unit and to handle your lithium battery appropriately.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it's not directions to replace them. Now, if there's wording telling you to replace it using that instruction, then yeah, we should address that. If there's some wording saying it's intended to give guidance on replacements,
Where
it's
is it supposed to
intended
be?
for they started including it in the box. I'm not sure why. I'm sure there was probably some regional reasons for recycling. Like
Yeah.
I know how like the European Union and everything is in regards to like recycling and all that stuff. So apparently, yeah, actually, I've not opened my box yet either. Let me get open mine. But apparently, there's a pamphlet in there. But yeah, it's not there, Darren, for replacement. And we don't recommend it. It's for recycling.
Yes, please don't.
I'm gonna see if I can grab mine too.
I like that. The new Logitech for creators kind of embossed. It's hard to show up on camera. There we go.
Oh, that is tough.
Yeah, it's nice though. It's a good touch.
Yep.
So yeah, if you haven't seen the new packaging for the Mevo Start, this is it. Looking pretty slick. Got the new Logitech C logo right there.
Fancy. It is weird.
Change the color.
Oh, perfect. No
right?
no more weird marks on the blue one. So there's a pamphlet under that box. I wonder if it's just regional because like I've only seen it a couple times mentioned. Because I had this
somebody
same
mentioned it before. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. So does it say anything about this is how you replace it, or is it like for
this
proper disposal?
It's supposed to be for recycling.
Yeah, it's got the recycling logo on there. Yeah, it's the recycle it. Yeah, I'm not sure what the legalities behind that was because we've always said since the beginning of Mevo, like, don't do your own repairs.
Right.
So I'm not sure why Logitech added that, but I can only assume it's for recycle. Like, obviously it's for recycling, but
recycle safety.
I just wonder what region required it that we do it for all of the regions, or if it's literally just because like Logitech has a big, Logitech has a huge recycling. Like they stand behind the whole recycling thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the correct term is, but renewable stuff. They're huge on it. So
yeah, which is great. It's a good push.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely a good to do.
Let's see. Mike Marquez in the house. What's going on, DJ Mike? If you need 4K, it's probably to record rather than stream. What would be ideal is 1080p 60. Yeah. I have a hard time noticing the difference between 30 and 60, but some people are like very in tune with it.
So how do you feel about? So I've got this conversation like many a times. Do you see the difference between 60 and 120?
No.
Me either.
Yeah.
My friends swear by it, especially when it comes to gaming. They swear by it, and I'm just like, nope.
It's interesting how much people care about it on like cell phones because like that's probably the least useful thing that you would have on your cell phone. Like, when you scroll, the icons are like smoother. It's like, does it matter? But yeah, some people are really, really into it.
Yeah. Whatever works for you. I mean, if you've got the extra funds to do it, go for it.
Sure, why not? How can you incorporate a drone into live streaming video with the Mevo camera? We've talked about this a few times because it is something that you can do. The biggest challenge is, of course, if you're live streaming, then it'll go out of range. So I guess you could do like set up a live stream on it and like connect your phone to the drone and then fly it around. You could probably do it that way. Although I would do it with a phone that you don't love. Like, if it drops, it's all bad.
I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I did attach my phone. So basically, Beats by Dre headphones, they come with those like hard cases.
Right.
So when Pokemon Go was a thing, and they're like, you need to do so much distance or whatever, blah blah blah. I put my phone in that hard case, zipped it up, and used like a hook to attach to my drone. I'm flying this thing around town.
Nice.
For Pokemon Go. Oh man.
That's a good way to do it, man.
Yeah, super lazy. Like, God forbid I just go outside. Like,
remember when that was like crazy popular and everybody was just like walking around?
I actually just reinstalled it.
Yeah,
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go. What's up, Jordan? Yo.
Jordan Gaming in the house.
Let's see. They thought about having a battery that clips out easily when it dies, and you can replace the battery easily without having to take apart the camera.
So I think
Yeah, I mean, I think that and you could probably speak to this better than I can, but I'm sure that in the development process to the start, it was something that was thought about.
yeah, so and don't quote me, but the initial concept of Mevo, like so Mevo Plus, Mevo first gen with boost, the boost is kind of what that was. And then the Mevo Start, we didn't have a secondary device. It was just the battery. And I think the design initially was with the thought that it would be water resistant or weather resistant.
Hmm.
That obviously didn't make it into the final design, but I think that's why the battery is the way that it is. Um,
It's also
yeah,
probably for just optimization, right? Like if you have various batteries or replaceable batteries, then they're less optimized than like the one battery that you build the device for.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean the Mevo Start can go for 6 hours, which is a long time. Um, so yeah, it's a good question though. Mike saying that 60 is the only thing he notices. Higher resolutions all look the same.
I
Yeah,
remember going into like Walmart and stuff, and I don't even know if it was Walmart at the time, but they had the TVs that had like half screen, 1080, half screen
right.
with 4K. And you have like this car driving across, and it goes from like being a Minecraft looking box to like being this Corvette on the other side. And you're just like, come on now. Like this
Yeah,
seems a little skewed.
this seems not accurate.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
But
and also, like once you're streaming higher resolutions, like there's going to be a lot of optimization done on the side of like the CDN. So YouTube or Twitch is going to do their own optimization, so you're not going to get quite like
yeah,
the pure resolution that you're paying for.
that's painful. Streaming's painful when it comes to platforms kind of just like
Doing what
shooting
they
the
want.
quality. Like
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, you've got this really beautiful quality, but it'd be a shame if we lowered your bit rate. Like,
Yep.
oh, gross.
That's why we always recommend, and I see a bunch of people on Facebook, so I want to bring this up again. We always recommend going over to twitch.com or twitch.tv/Logitech C and watching us there because it's much better quality, and that's just where most people are. So head over to Twitch to chat with the crew.
Yeah. And by crew, we mean us.
That's
Just
right.
just us.
At one point, I was thinking about like just answering questions from Twitch and just kind of like pushing people over to,
Forcing people.
yeah. I was like, I'll be nice.
Just be like, I don't see anything.
Yeah. No questions today. Cool. Let's see. How can you submit the setup pic after you type the link? So you're talking about the host React, I guess. So if you go to the link, it'll be like a little survey. And that'll send us your info and we'll contact you and we'll exchange hopefully pictures and videos of your setup and all your gear. So hit us up at equippedlive@logitech.com. All right. Princess Zoena Gomez, what's going on? Is there a guide to audio settings / suggestions for what you are recording / streaming? I've kind of played with it to get what I want, but I'm not super savvy with audio. Typically stream softball games, but might stream some music as well. So yeah, are you talking about the Mevo? I assume that you are. And yeah, we have lots of help articles to talk about audio, right?
Oh yeah. Lots. And lots of videos.
Yeah.
If you go check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it the Mevo Camera or they all get deleted since we changed
They're still
over?
there.
Even if not, the Logitech C YouTube also has lots of our every stream that we've done has been saved, and we've had some audio experts on here to go in very good detail about what you should look for.
Yeah, and we have an extremely comprehensive help section that covers all this audio stuff. Something to keep in mind when you're doing audio is even though you might find somewhere like these are the best settings for your audio, it's likely not going to be the best settings for your audio because it's so dependent on every situation. You know, it depends on the microphones that you're using. It depends on the environment, like is sound echoing around. You have a lot of background noise, all that kind of stuff. And of course, like it varies per microphone, right? If you're using the Mevo, then you can obviously use the internal microphones, but you can also use tons and tons of various external microphones as well. So the first place I would tell you to start is help.mevo.com and check out all of these audio articles. But yeah, I mean, if you have any other details about the kind of gear that you're using, hopefully we can give a little bit better insights on that. Cool.
I just
Okay,
noticed you added the blue bar or the blue strip of lighting by your wall.
Oh yeah, that's
I didn't
actually been
notice.
there for a while. I just
Really?
always, yeah, typically it's white.
Camera's just hot. Oh, that's probably why then.
Yeah.
Huh. Looks cool. Oh my gosh, look at all of the electric glow boxes on you.
Oh my
Four of
gosh.
them.
Yeah.
Four of them
I don't
bad
even think
boys.
that's all of them.
Yeah, no.
Like I've got this one down here
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, I got.
Uh,
Did you ever get the one for the gift from the BG?
no, I didn't
Me
actually.
either. Whatever.
Did you get
Oh,
the like stickers and stuff? Because I didn't even get those.
no.
Cool.
They're
Cool.
just kind
Cool.
of like
Cool.
just winging it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Let's see. Is there any way of using B and C connections with the Mevo cameras for high quality streaming?
I don't even know what that means. I'm about to Google it.
I don't know if you could use this or not. Um,
Oh,
Probably
those.
not.
No. Mm-mm.
Like you might be able to spend a lot of money on like a converter or something like that, but
Yeah. I was about to say,
probably not.
we just threw a bunch of them away. Literally.
Right now, like the best quality you're gonna get from the Mevo, hands down, is either, honestly, like wired webcam or wireless webcam. So even if you had that going through a wire, like it's still not gonna be better than those.
True.
Facebook is convenient to use, but it's also the worst quality.
And as of late, not to down talk Facebook, it hasn't been convenient either.
Yeah.
More and more you see on the Facebook customer group or the Mevo customer group, you see people talking about how now they're just going to Twitch or YouTube and they just share the link to their Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots
And
of
it always seems like there's like some kind of issue popping up,
Mhm.
and it's just like it makes no sense.
Yeah,
Like what somebody was talking about in Slack the other day.
yeah, the running into like this business profile issue.
Right.
I was like, I don't. And I was like, because
And of
Randall.
course, not again, not to talk bad of it, but yeah, I mean, when the support is like, yeah, we're not gonna help you, like contact the other company, then it's a bad sign.
Yeah,
So when it's clearly their fault too, they just don't want to test it.
right.
TikTok RTMP question mark. I know Streamlabs has been working on that. Any word for the rest of the fleet?
The fleet.
The challenge with going at RTMP to TikTok is two things. One is TikTok requires, I think it was 1,000 followers to stream to TikTok. So first you have to hit that requirement, and then the second requirement is actually that it has to be 9:16, which the Mevo can't do naturally. So yeah, I mean, as soon as those requirements are met, I'm sure that we'll be able to do that. But right now, there's just no ability to do that.
Yeah, I know somebody brought it up, not TikTok specifically, but so like, did you mention the other day? I don't know. I feel like I just had a conversation about Instagram, potentially
Right.
opening the doors. So naturally, when we seen that article released prematurely, um, the first thing our customer facing support channel said was like, well, should we start looking at ratio changes?
Right.
So eh, when it comes, we'll visit that. But right now, like, I think TikTok is natural. One, like as you said, once Streamlabs gets it all squared away.
Right.
Um, but I think Instagram would be more specific for Mevo because it's like a destination versus like a random. I think TikTok's still not like a streaming destination. It's still like
Yeah.
a scroll
It's like
endlessly.
streaming to Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It feels pointless.
Yeah.
So I think naturally when Instagram comes out, which seems like they're on the path to doing,
Mm-hmm.
once that happens, I could see our team prioritizing the ratio change.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
think
then
it'd
of
be
course,
cool.
yeah, I agree. And then once
But
once once that's done, I think TikTok will just kind of naturally happen.
this actually does remind me, Melon just added that in. I think, hold on, I think it has to be with just one of us on screen. So let me hide you real quick and see if that works. It does not. So yeah, you have to have just the one person in the chat. But Melon can actually now stream in 9:16.
Nice.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. So if you have a Mevo, you can RTMP from the Mevo app to Melon, and then it'll send it to all your destinations. And if you want, you can also stream vertical, which is pretty nice. This came out like last week, and I haven't even been able to play around with it, but I also don't stream to TikTok or Instagram. So, cool. A good thing to bring up. Let's see. Ryan saying, when I was working in broadcasting at the beginning of digital television, HD, it was stated that the human eye can't tell the difference between 1080p and 720. I'd say that's pretty accurate. Like, it depends on the content. Like if I'm watching Twitch streams about games, I can usually tell the difference. But if it's just like a person talking, then yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Have you ever seen record quality work its way down to 0 and stop recording?
I mean, the logic makes
Uh,
sense. If it's
yeah,
recording, if it's zero record, like if the writing rate is 0, I would assume it's not recording any longer. Now,
yeah,
why it wouldn't tell you it's not recording anymore, I don't know. I think I might have seen this one other time, but it could very well just be the same user. So
yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen something similar where it's like space goes down to 0 and everything stops recording. But in terms of quality, no, I haven't. Princess clarifying that they're using the Mevo. Yeah, so the advice that we gave applies. Yeah, in terms of getting your good audio, I would definitely look into external microphones. That's usually the best way to go if you're wanting to improve your audio. But also, since you're looking at softball streaming, doing the audio, what is it, audio preset or whatever in the Mevo app for like wind is probably what you want to go with. Cool.
I just thought of something completely kind of off topic.
What's that?
So like I'm reviewing this survey I'm about to send out. You think I should ask? You think I should ask if we should put like the feature roadmap on here so we could be like, what would you guys like to see us prioritize first? And to
That would
see
be
like,
cool.
but like I feel like if I ask, then it's going to red flag that I'm doing a survey. Oh,
Yeah,
what can you do?
but it would be cool.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be useful to get. Oh well, another day.
Do I have to update the app for the multicam setup 4, 5, 6 cams? Yes. We always recommend being on the latest version of all of the apps. And to make sure that you have unlimited camera access, definitely have to be on the latest version.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Somebody the other day was like, "Yeah, so yeah, you still have to pay for graphics, blah blah blah." And I'm like, it was kind of funny because I did the video for that release, and I was like, "I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure Mevo 2.5, dude, we're on like 3 point something now." And I'm like,
right.
"Yeah, 2.5, 11 months ago." like that went free, and I'm just like, how did I remember that? Because I don't remember versions for anything. It
Yeah.
had to be because of the video.
It's always amazing to me that people hold off on updates and like as long as possible. Like I
Well,
do kind of understand that, like, you know, if it's working now, like if you know, why change something, but it can always work better,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, when we left Vimeo and became Mevo, we had to basically at a certain point, due to contractual obligations, cut off at a certain version and then start our app in the store again
Yeah.
under our name. So like we had sent out a notification and everything saying like, by this date, no more updates are going to happen. You can continue to use the app, but it will eventually brick.
Yeah.
Like a year and a half later, people were popping up in tickets being like, yeah, so my app just doesn't load anymore. And we're like, like, how did you go a year and a half with it? Like, you haven't updated a single time? Like,
Yeah.
that's insane to me. But yeah, it's always wild to see how people put those off for so long.
Yeah. Samuel saying, how do you get a cinema look using the Mevo? So what I do for my Mevo, so I'm using a Mevo right now. I'm using NVIDIA Broadcast to blur this background behind me, which helps with the cinema effect. And then I also put a LUT over the video as well, so it kind of customizes the colors even more, as well as kind of increasing my sharpness. So I do a lot of things to boost the quality of the Mevo. Yeah, you can do a lot of cool things with it. I've done a demo about it before, so you can check that out on YouTube. But this also, if you don't have NVIDIA Broadcast, like your computer doesn't have an NVIDIA graphics card, you can also do this with StreamFX, which is a OBS plugin. Let's see, what is the best way to clean your Mevo lens? I actually have one down here. So the Mevo comes
Microfiber?
with microfiber right there, and so that's probably the best way to do it. Of course, you could also just buy any kind of microfiber cloth and you'd be good to go. Mevo should have Melon built in. That would be cool. Hopefully more and more integrations will start rolling out. Cool. Does Melon allow you to save a link to your recordings?
They do allow you to save your recordings, right? I don't know if you can link to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I don't know if you can link to them, but you can certainly save them both in the cloud and local recordings when you're using Melon. So lots of good options. It would be nice to have like record to the cloud. Like I've actually really wanted that recently. But a good hack that I've been using is like, you know how you can download the Google Drive application. It like already syncs files automatically. So I'll have a OBS recording folder that is linked to Google Drive. So every time I do a recording, it goes immediately into Google Drive.
That's sick.
Right?
Huh.
Let's see.
DJ.
I was on a few weeks ago for this update, and you guys hinted it, and it wasn't out yet.
It was like maybe like a month ago ish. And then it was part of the beta before then. Then there was a multicam beta that had it, I thought. Unlimited
Oh, really?
cams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it's been out for a little while now.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you said a few weeks ago, then yeah, it's probably about the same time, like a month and a half ago. I was trying to look it up on Google, but we release so many updates, it's impossible to keep up.
I know, right? That's the exciting part. There's always something new to talk about.
Yeah. It was difficult when we were like full-time Mevo. Now it's like impossible. Like we're doing every product for Logitech for creators. Like we're keeping up with everything, how it works, what updates there are, what issues there are, everything.
And speaking of updates, actually, this reminds me that last week, and I didn't talk about this last week, but there was an update recently, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, and that actually improves the performance of remote streaming.
Yeah, that was for iOS, right? Because I think iOS users were having RTMP issues. using the LTE, using mobile data. So, yep, should be solid.
That's why you got to update.
Yep,
There's
I just used
always.
it. I just used it in Texas.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because it was fun. Because I'm sitting here talking negatively about people who don't update their stuff, but yeah, I didn't update it.
Nice.
So I'm over here like, why will it not stream? And like, oh, I have an update right away.
There you go. That'll happen. Full-time Mevo was dope at the Navy Yard, with the plants in the BG. Yeah. That was a cool setup. It was when we were doing it in Brooklyn.
I will say it was kind of painful though. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
It's so
for
much
sure.
nicer to just have our own dedicated setups that we're responsible for that no one can touch. We don't have to like, because like it goes back to, and I don't know if you were in here before, Mike, but it was like we had to spend so much time making sure that no one touched our microphones, no one touched our audio settings, no one messed with the internet. Like it was really tough to do that. Now it's like I know Will's a stickler like me. My setup's perfect every time. Like it's very rare where I have an issue at home. And no one touches it. So I don't have to worry about it. We spend significantly less time on setup and I personally like being able to like not have to like I feel like I have a lot more resources here as well. Because like we have all of the gear. And if we had all of this same gear at work and then not at home, it would be tough to do the job in both locations.
Right. We get more time to use our gear. Like even if it's like doing meetings or something like that, right? Like we're able to like I use my Light Your Glows in every single meeting that I have. And so, if we're at the office, we might have the same amount of gear available. It also, because of the certain office that we were in, we were sharing a space with a bunch of other companies. And like, it's hard to run a streaming company right next door to a ton of other companies because like they just destroy the internet.
Well, not even just that. Like we had some random like science,
the IT.
Well, the chemistry people who were right next door,
Yeah.
they're just coming in and drilling holes and putting pipes and CO2 and hydrogen canisters there. I'm like, what is happening? I was like, if I don't, one of these days I'm gonna wake up as Spider-Man, it's gonna be sick.
Thanks for the follow or subscribe. I gotta realize like which one.
Did the little dinosaur disappear? I didn't see it.
No, that's so one of the networks is the dinosaur, and then the other is the explosion. I can't remember which one's which. I think the dinosaur is Twitch, and then the other one's YouTube.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Jeff saying, "Come on, guys, those setups are fun. I appreciate those days going live. Trust me, I didn't hate it. I'm gonna tell you that. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing the shows. I enjoyed our setups, and it felt super duper official. But if you think about it this way too, and this speaks for who we are as Logitech for creators, we had, I don't know, man, like $20,000 worth of lighting,
right?
And we had, like just tons of stuff that people don't have access to. And I think this speaks more for our user base, our current setups, versus what we had then. You can see a Mevo in general, an actual use case that our users are using versus, this is the absolute perfect scenario you're going to see a Mevo in, or the perfect scenario for audio. Although that was not a great location for audio because of all the reverbs.
Right.
But
even just the people in the office at the same time you're doing the stream.
Yeah. This was it's a lot. It's significantly better just for our users to see us using it in a same scenario and environment that they would be using it in. Now, I do wish we could do more mobile stuff, and maybe we can someday. And especially with Melon, it makes it a little easier, I think, to kind of go somewhere. That would be sick, like direct Mevo integration, where I could select Melon as a destination and like say you're at home, right? And you're still using Melon. And I could just say Melon, and then you just see my feed pop up. Now I probably wouldn't be able to hear you unless it was like, I don't know how they would do that, but that'd be really cool.
That would be really cool.
Prioritize that.
That'd be sick.
That would be awesome. Did I just freeze?
Yeah. Oh, now you're back.
Whoa.
Does Mevo have an auto update feature? It does not, but your phone does. So if you're using, I think this is Android also, but you
Hmm.
can turn on automatic updates on your phone for iOS and Android, and it'll always update the Mevo app to the latest version. And then every time you just connect to your Mevo, it'll say you need to update.
Yep. And then another thing is, you also watch for the setting because there's a setting that says only do downloads and updates and stuff when you're on Wi-Fi versus cellular. So if
Yeah,
you do that setting, then it's not going to update unless you connect to Wi-Fi. So if you're someone who doesn't connect to Wi-Fi often, you might want to turn that setting off.
yeah, that's a good call. Um, when will the gear be sent out to the nominated creators? I assume that you're talking about the BIPOC
That's what I was thinking too.
program. And I know that it's the marketing team in charge of that, and so I'm pretty sure that those get sent out um, pretty quickly. So I don't know the exact date of when they'll be sent out, but I would guess on the soon side.
On this soon.
Yeah, you can definitely reach out to us on Twitter, send us a DM, and the marketing team is watching that, and so they'll see it. They'll give you that information.
Man, my Chrome is having the worst time right now. I think I was telling you that before we got started. It's just like
Yeah,
for whatever reason, my computer is just being super sluggish. I think it's just Chrome, which
is it?
is
You
not
just have? Do you have a
extremely
lot of tabs
surprising.
open? You
Only
got like
30.
so much RAM though, like that
Yeah,
shouldn't even matter.
literally. Yeah, I'm only using 4.5 gigs of RAM right now, and I've got
Weird.
like 128. So now
Have
I
you
will
done a
say this.
restart since you came back?
Well, it was off. My computer was off when
Oh,
I
okay.
yeah, so I just it booted right up. I was like, I'm not gonna be here. There's no reason to keep it on.
Yeah.
But one thing is weird, and I've always Googled it, and I can never find a straight up solution where it's like you get the low memory warning for Chrome for having too many tabs. Where you try to open something, and it's like low memory. And I'm
Right.
thinking to myself, I look over and I'm like, I'm not even using 50% of my RAM yet. And I'm like, how can I increase this so I can stop experience? Like, Chrome, please take all of my RAM. I don't care.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be sluggish. I have 128 gigs. Like, let's not mess around.
I wish
But
all computers worked like the new iPads do. Um, or is the new iPads? Yeah, it's the new iPads where because RAM is basically an SSD, like if
yeah,
it's fast enough, then so what the iPads will do is like if you have extra space on your iPad, it'll start using your regular storage as RAM,
nice. No,
right?
that's super. That's sick.
Yeah. So like that's the benefit of the M1 chip is because they have all those different things on the one chip. So it's so fast. Um, DJ, I assure you, if you make sure that you're on the latest Multicam app, you can connect as many cameras as you want. So just make sure that you're on the latest one. But for sure you can. Um, whoa, it's a long one. What's up? Uh, Greyhounds are us. At church, we have Ethernet, 2 years old, installed by a provider, plugged directly into our Mevo Start with the fastest business grade service offered by the provider. But
So
we are
fast.
getting Wi Fi and internet errors all the time, and live stream will drop several times during the live stream. We were fine up until about March/April of this year. About the same time, we did a firmware upgrade. Is that likely to be the cause? We have given up trying to live stream. So, one thing to always think about when being concerned about an issue with firmware or software or anything like that is that typically it's something that affects everyone.
Hmm.
So, uh, one, you'll see it posted about either on Facebook or Twitter or something like that. And two is if it is something like that and it is affecting every single Mevo user, then that's something that we fix as fast as possible.
Yeah,
So,
and we're not talking like you'll see one or two posts. We're talking like everybody who's got a Mevo who has social media is going to
right.
be posting about it.
Yeah.
And for example, when we have Facebook outages, which we can't control, obviously, but when
Right.
there's a Facebook issue, we in like a matter of an hour are getting hundreds of reports. So that's something just to think about. And you can go to the Facebook group when that happens, and you'll see dozens of posts time and
Right.
time again. So if you think it's an update or a firmware issue, like that'd be the first thing I would check. Like don't come and there's a there's a common thing that happens in the Mevo group, and that's no fault of anybody because not everybody has the exposure to Mevo like we do.
Right.
But often a common thing that happens is like people are like, I'm having connection issues. Well, like that's extremely generic. So like one person could be using Wi-Fi and then the other person could be using Ethernet. One could be using cellular, and the next thing you know, they're all thinking they're having the same issue where that's not possible because the way those work are all
Right.
different.
Yep.
So one doesn't affect the other. So like yeah, like Will said, if there's something that's an update or firmware related that you can blame it on, then you'll see dozens on the Facebook group complaining about it, and you'll see hundreds of people around all social channels complaining about
Yeah.
it. So
So yeah, basically that's a very long way of us saying that it's likely not a firmware issue. That being said, let's see if we can figure out what's going on. So you've got Ethernet plugged directly into your Mevo. So does that mean that you're not using a secondary router and you're just using the modem that's provided by your internet provider? Because like that in and of itself is problematic. Um, Joe's able to do that because he's got Verizon Fios, and they're obviously like pro letting you do whatever you want because
vroom.
that's an amazing internet connection. But a lot of internet providers do have really not good modems and routers that are also like packed with firewalls and blocked ports and stuff like that. So first question for you would be is if you're plugging directly into your modem or you're plugging into a router, which is then connected to your modem. Then secondly, if you're getting Wi-Fi internet errors, is that, in the Multicam app that you're getting those errors? You're getting those errors somewhere else? Let me know. And then
Other things
also
are
like,
for like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say a speed test is also another thing that you want to do.
Yeah, and not to generalize, house of worships, but they generally
Right.
don't have fast internet. For whatever
Yeah.
reason, they try to get the slowest packages, and they're not thinking of streaming at the time, and then they add
Right.
streaming, and then like the Wi-Fi or internet is just slow. And then also people sharing the connection, like you think it's private, you think no one else is using it, and then next thing just random example is like the pastor gives his kid access to the Wi-Fi, don't share it. Next thing you know, his kid sharing it to his friends, and his friends sharing it to his parents, and those parents are sharing it to. Next thing
Yeah.
you know, you got dozens of people using the network that's supposed to be private, and now they're using your resources. So just other things to keep in mind as well.
Yes. So yeah, check that you have, 10 megabytes per second. Try lowering your streaming resolution. If you're using the Multicam app, try increasing your latency. But yeah, the first thing I would do is just check your internet speed. You can do that. The best place for that is speedtest.net. Cool.
Woo!
Let's see. Looks like we are over time, so let's go through this quick. Do you know the current version of the Multicam app?
Yeah, that's
Because
what I was pulling
I'm
up right now.
pretty sure it's way newer than that.
I feel like it should be too, but honestly, I don't know. There's too many
Yeah,
apps.
it's tough when you're on like the beta builds.
That too.
Let's see. Is a Shaw cable internet or a Telus fiber the best connections to use for live streaming? I haven't used either one, but if one is fiber and the other one isn't, fiber is better. Always.
Yeah, so it does look like 1.4.5 is the latest. And you need. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so if you're on 1.4.5, then you should be able to connect as many Mevos as you want. And if you can't, like, what are you seeing that is stopping you? Are you getting an
Yeah.
error or something like that? Like, or is it just not connecting, like having trouble connecting? Let us know. Hopefully quickly, because we're gonna have to wrap it up in a second. Yeah, so it looks like they are using their ISP provided equipment. So that's another thing I would look at. Check your speed test, and then also maybe don't use that equipment. Like, it's unlikely that it's the Mevo that's causing it. And the best test to do this is connecting your Mevo to another network or even streaming in hotspot mode. And if you're still having issues, then it could be related to the Mevo or the Mevo app or something like that. But definitely check those things out. I'm trying to burn through these real quick. And then last, we've got Frank. What's up, Frank? Saying within a crop view, it can be expanded in a landscape view. Can it be changed to expand in a portrait view? So yeah, this was actually something that DJ Mike was asking about, and basically, the Mevo is currently limited to 16:9, so there is no portrait option, but you can connect it to a computer using OBS or Streamlabs or Ecamm or anything like that, and there you can adjust the crop. You can also do that in Melon, so head over to melonapp.com, sign up for the free trial, and test it out there. Cool. All right. Sounds good. Let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're live once a week. Just as a reminder, don't show up on Tuesdays because we won't be here. But Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be here to answer all of your questions. And if you want to help kind of direct the show, typically we're posting on it about Twitter, or posting on Twitter about it, and we ask you what you want to talk about. So be sure to follow us on Twitter, Logitech C. All right, everybody. We went through all of it.
We
all
did
right.
it.
Have a great weekend. Stay cool, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.